All set?
Yes.
Okay, well, with that excitement, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and call this session of the City of Issaquah Hearing Examiner to order. For the record, today is October 16th, 2018, not quite at 1:30 p.m. And we have one item on the agenda today. This is number FP 17-00001, request for final plat approval of the Solway Townhomes final plat, a plat that I believe I heard originally back in March of 2017, which involved the subdivision of approximately 21,747 square feet into 11 single-family residential lots just off of 5th Avenue Northwest. Today is just a final plat meeting, so we will not be taking testimony under oath or affirmation, but really this is an opportunity for us to get together and determine whether the appropriate provisions have been made as was conditioned under preliminary plat approval. So to that end, I did receive exhibits in advance of today's hearing. I have 7 exhibits. These include the preliminary plat plans that were submitted originally with the application, as well as my decision that was produced back in March of 2017, information on the notice of today's hearing, some additional, I believe, site plans that show everything up to date, and a staff report prepared by city staff. So I'll go ahead and admit those exhibits into the record. And we don't have any members of the public, I believe, here today, so this will probably be fairly straightforward. So I will keep my introductions here to a minimum, but again, we're just trying to ensure that the proposal complies with Issaquah Municipal Code, Chapter 1813, in relation to final plat approval. So I believe city staff has prepared a short PowerPoint presentation, and I'll turn it over to them to go ahead and take care of presenting this application for final plat, and after that I'll turn it over to the applicant team for any additional information. So hello, thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hearing Examiner. I'm Lucy Sloman, Land Development Manager. I'm here today with Denise Parolo, Senior Engineer, and Dan Martinez, Associate Planner. Can you go to the next one, please? So the property shown in yellow, as you said, is about a ½ acre in size, is located in central Issaquah, which is both a general description and a specific area of the city. The uses in the immediate area include single-family, multifamily, and offices, so it's a fairly mixed area with Bernston Park across the street, across 4th Avenue. The plat consists of 11 lots and 1 tract. The tract is intended for open space, access, and utilities. Could you go to the next slide? Thank you. So you can see that sort of central T is the tract. At the north end of the tract is an east-west trail, which is called a through block passage. The 11 lots have attached townhouses. The homes face the street, and the central tract provides an alley that gives garage access. The tract will be private. The final plat is consistent with the preliminary plat. There have been, the general configuration is exactly the same. There were slight lot size changes but around 1%, if any, which is an allowed amount of change. And as you mentioned, there was not only a preliminary plat, but initially there was an administrative site development permit, which allowed the applicant to get to building permits more quickly. But with the preliminary plat, they will end up not with condos, but with fee simple lots, which was their desire. Public notice was given as required. We received no public comment. The internal improvements have been bonded, although they are almost entirely constructed, and we're just working on inspections. Preliminary plat conditions have been met or will be met with future actions such as inspections. And we recommend approval with conditions such as minor changes if we find script errors.
Great. And the issue of bonding, that was Exhibit 7, was it
Yes.
not? So a bond has already been figured out as to what will need to be put in place, but it sounds like things are nearly complete. This has to be some kind of record to go from preliminary to, I know it's not a big project, but still preliminary to final in just over a year and a half. So clearly the applicant is motivated, and I'm certain will likely follow through on everything that you need. Did you have anything further
No,
from the
that was
city
the
side?
end. That concludes my presentation.
Okay, well, again, because I heard this the first time, and the first time it was kind of figuring out, the process of going from an ASDP to a plat was a little unusual, but it ultimately made sense, and I think we covered all that in the decision. And obviously that was to expedite processing, which is probably why we got here so quickly. So, and I believe we covered everything again in the preliminary plat decision. I know low impact development techniques were used for stormwater. We've got the east-west trail pass-through block passage up top, which I believe was to also help allow for access to the park
Yes.
from the other side of the plat. So all the things that we had any concerns with, it sounds like the developer has taken care of. So I don't have any specific questions for the city on this particular plat. Would you like me to include your PowerPoint as an additional exhibit, or just treat it as a demonstrative exhibit?
I treat it as demonstrative. All
Okay.
the images that I used are included in the packet that you received. So I don't believe there's any new information that you did not already possess.
Great, thank you. Okay, well, if the city has nothing further, Ms. Lohman, I will turn it over to the applicant and let them provide any additional information they may have. Well, why don't we introduce ourselves for the record?
I'm Matt Howe with CPH Consultants. I'm the land use consultant and civil engineer for the project.
And how do I spell your name?
It's spelled H-O-U-G-H.
H-O-U-G-H, got it. With you?
Melanie Davies. I'm with Westcott Homes, project manager.
So you had an opportunity to review the staff report that was prepared, and there was some very basic proposed conditions. Do those all make sense to the applicant?
Yes.
Okay. And what, just to clarify for the record, it seemed as if there may be just some inspections and some landscaping is all that was left, but sort of what is the final stages for this project at this minute?
We are nearing the end of plat construction. We're basically left with the punch list.
Okay.
And we've sort of postponed completing it while we were waiting for some of the building construction to be completed so that everything's kind of out of the way and we can finish the exterior plat things pretty quickly once we get to that point. Meaning concrete repairs, landscaping.
All the minor details on that punch list, which is for the non-developers, the sort of final inspection list. Is that accurate? And did Exhibit 7 also make sense to the applicant? That was just what the bonding amount would be.
I have the staff report if you need to see it.
It's a bond worksheet.
It's actually a letter from the Public Works Director saying that a bond has been, the necessary bonding has been provided, and he accepts that as sufficient to cover the work that is yet to be completed.
Oh, the bonds that we've already submitted.
Yeah.
It's based on what
Yes.
you folks
Yes.
submitted, so I assume it's probably fine.
It is.
It's
It
the
is,
kind of
yeah.
thing, I want to make sure we're all on the same page, so no issues there. Okay. Okay, well, do you have anything further then? We don't have members of the public, and again, this was thorough and straightforward, so unlike some of the things that we sometimes hear, I can say that I don't see any issues with producing a decision here in the next 10 working days, approving your final plat so you folks can finish this project and move forward, so.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, about as easy as we have here in Issaquah, but I thank everyone. Again, my apologies for going to the wrong location. I know I need to, on my own punch list, when I come to Issaquah, check if we're here at the old building. But with that, we'll go ahead and close the record, and I'll produce a decision here in the next 10 days approving the final plat. So thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.